I believe Gordon Brown has been the worst Prime Minister that this country has ever had. This is not what the Labour Party is all about. If you go back to the 60s and to the 70s, under Michael Foot's time, Labour was a party which cared for the community, which was a true socialist party. And this is not the way I was brought up. And what he is doing is basically making things worse and worse and worse. He's corrupting the system even more. The bureaucracy is getting worse day by day. And we're close to a general election. Never do you hear a government near a general election increasing national insurance contributions. We're close to a general election. Never do you hear a government or a Prime Minister increasing petrol prices, which are soaring day by day by day. Never do you hear near a general election the employment tax going up and up and up. The unions have lost their rights. And at the end of the day, people have got to be proud of being British. They have to respect the Queen. She's the sovereign of this country. And at the same time, certain industries have suffered. And that includes the primary sector, which is the farming industry. And because the farmers are suffering, the primary sector is suffering, the secondary sector is suffering in this country, which includes manufacturing, the shipbuilding, the coal mining, and so on. So we're left with the tertiary sector. And really, we need to go back to the basics of how life was in the 60s and the 70s. Give the police a lot more powers to the wardens in the prisons, more income and more money should be injected into the health service, more money into the public sector like the health service and the fire service, more discipline for students and more powers to the teachers to control the classrooms, more power to the unions so that they can look after and support their employees to the full extent. And that's what I'm trying to say. And at the moment, things are not going right. Immigration, for example, has not been controlled properly. Let's be very, very honest. And there's still too much immigration taking place. Under Section 8, 1996...
If I can just get in with another question. If I could just get in with another question. I mean, you kept saying in that answer that never this close to an election. Isn't that the point? It is staggering you are making these comments just 2 days before people go to the polls. Presumably, you want them to vote for your party and all of those things that you've just said about Gordon Brown.
No, I'm saying that they are voting for the Labour Party, but they should be voting for the right policies and the right principles. And that doesn't mean people are not supporting what I'm saying. All I'm trying to say is that we need to go back to the basics. The Labour Party is not about corruption. The Labour Party is not about earning £80,000 a year for members of Parliament and £130,000 office allowances. Let's look at the basic problems on the roads, for example. We've got potholes all over the country now. Where is the Minister for Transport? He's on the salary. He should be going around the country setting true, realistic targets to the councils, to the leaders, and saying this is the problem that we've got, please solve it now. And that's all I'm saying. I'm trying to say that we need to live in a society and in a system where people have a lot more respect for each other, and I want to clean up the system and the bureaucracy that we have. That's all I'm trying to do.
What do you say to Labour supporters who would say you're being utterly disloyal at this stage to make these comments now that, I mean, your constituency chairman has described you as being divorced from this campaign, interested only in self-publicity?
Well, this has been the case for the last 3 years and 3.25 years, and obviously the CLP hasn't supported me, but that doesn't stop me from saying what I'm saying, because this is the right thing. This is the way that the Labour Party was in the 60s and the 70s. My father was a well-known Labour city councillor, as well as my mother, and this is not the way we were educated. This is not what the Labour Party was all about, and all I'm saying is that we're heading for a hung parliament, and that really means nobody knows what's going on. Things are getting worse, things are getting more bureaucratic, and that is a fact. That is not a vision. So we really need to sort the problem out, and at the end of the day, if he can't do the job properly, then he should give somebody else a chance who can go in there very firmly, clean up the system, get rid of the bureaucracy, get rid of the corruption, clean up the system, more powers to the police, more powers to the prison wardens, more powers to the teachers in the schools, and so on. And it's as simple as that.